Watching Arcane, I will have my phone on hand so that whenever I have some sort of evocation of thought or especially feeling, I can just write it down vaguely so I can talk about it, in my review. Even though it is ranty, I still want to have my thoughts gathered for you, friends and family. But with this video, and I really paused watching Arcane a few times, I could not write a damn thing. I really couldn't. There was nothing I could do to bring about any sort of coherent, eloquent poetry to describe what I was watching, because it wasn't fun. Exactly. No, this is great. I think Arcane is amazing. In fact, I think Arcane is trying to build itself to be legendary, but with that epicness, there is this emptiness that comes with the semicolon ending of season 1. So yes, this is season 1, 9 episodes. It is finished, and this is my review of the final 3 episodes, which hopefully you guys just binged as well, and you're coming to this review. I'm not going to go over every bullet point of what happened in this show, or these 3 episodes, or even the final moments, but what I will say is, wow. I want to give all my thoughts and feelings, but I honestly think it's going to take multiple videos. I honestly think I'm going to have to make a whole video just talking about why fan service needs to be defended, why it actually works in the context of Arcane. I think I need to do videos on individual characters and their evolutions, even just through single episodes. I think I could even do, literally just singular scene analyses. You saw the Victor running scene, right? Holy God, there is some serious art in Arcane, and talking about the first 3 episodes, that's what I titled the video. Arcane is art. And in the next 3 episodes, 4, 5, and 6, we started to get this twisting madness and sickness, this grunginess, and still funness to the show that just made it sick. And now, in the final 3 episodes, I have not really a singular specific emotion that I can talk about. There is not a singular wowness to this. And in fact, it is just this gaping or yawning, gulfing hollowness, this honestly despair and depression, this darkness that I've teased and alluded to and maybe even said with a smile in my other videos saying, oh, it's like Game of Thrones. It's kind of like The Expanse. Friends and family, Arcane is honestly not just not for kids. I honestly don't think it's going to be for everyone all the time. It's not a Saturday morning cartoon. This is, honestly, I think going to be a very sincerely serious series. And so with saying that, let's go ahead and just focus on the scene that I think really started to define the show and its tonality. And in fact, these 3 episodes, I think, are the stamp, the seal of approval, and the sort of solidification of the stylization of the show, the experimentation that they've been throwing out there and really starting to kind of become a rhythm. And this is the statement, basically, of the show, where it's saying, we're going to be dark, and everything is going to be emotive. Everything is going to be really freaking twisted. And you're going to see a lot of morally gray characters. We're going to paint this whole world incredibly colorfully and vividly with darker, more gray hues. So there is a scene where you have Vi and Jace, and they have their new Hex Tech gauntlets and his hammer cannon thing, and they jump down into the drug lord den, basically, and they're kicking ass. They're killing bad guys. Everything is very Saturday morning cartoon and comic book, and very fun, and honestly very colorful, something that we have come to expect with Arcane, where they have these action sequences. The fight scenes are glorious. They're gorgeous, and sometimes a little gory, actually. With the final 3 episodes, there are scenes where you see people's heads kind of melted off. You do see blood, and you do see some, I guess you could say, gore-ish. You do see people get smashed to bits. Anyways, Saturday morning cartoon, let's punch people in the face. But it ends, the mood is executed by the death of a child, or more accurately, murder, by one of our heroes. And the show has actually had lots of moments like this. There have been multiple, probably more than even Game of Thrones, children deaths inside of what looks like to some people a children's cartoon. And all of these moments are kind of built to really show you like, hey, this is what this world is really like. And so far we've sort of been living it like this is Zaun, or we didn't even know it as Zaun. It's just, this is the Undercity. This is where bad people live. You know, these are just some scrappy kids trying to get out of here or whatever. And this is how the world twists them. But keep in mind that the term the world, because now with the end of season 1, we're starting to realize maybe the reasons why people have these incredibly dire, striving, you know, goals that they'll sacrifice anything for. We're, you know, pursuing chem technology, or yeah, if you didn't even realize, the Undercity or Zaun uses chemtech. Why people have the singular focus or the ethos of Piltover, where they just wanted to use technology to better people's lives, and really all of this coming together, all of these gray moralities of these characters, the severity of them all, is kind of because that's how the greater world or the universe has sort of built them to be. And we're definitely gonna get way more of that when it comes to the next season, especially when you guys hear about Noxus. Maybe you guys should be able to read into that just a little bit by some new characters that got thrown up there. But basically, the world of Runeterra, and debatably the universe or universes or whatever, is not so freaking friendly, and I love all the little lore teases and hints that were thrown in here for people who know the games, and maybe even if you don't, there's a lot to chew on as if it was sci-fi, but there is this sense overall throughout the whole show, and I think really punctuated finally with season 1, not in a epic fireworks, climactic, epic fun battle or anything like that, but punctuated severely with a dagger to your fucking heart, to have you slowly bleed out waiting for season 2. This show shows you that this is some serious shit, basically. And it's really crazy to think about, because if you actually have been following League of Legends animations, they've been mostly fun. They've been really fun, or very anime, or again, very Saturday morning cartoon. I'll say it again. Like literally, even with the example of Jinx and Echo and, you know, Piltover, they had some really fun stuff going on there. And suddenly with Arcane, they're like, actually, let's tell a real story with real people in a real setting. Runeterra is a world of wolves, and we're just now getting a taste of that. It's not just bad people live in Undercity, it's way more than that. But that's all in the teasing and the hinting, but that's really a lot of what this last 3 episodes really were. But in the end, the arcs of these characters, no, they're not finished. The arcs of, you know, plot lines that were kind of risen up, a lot of them completely unfinished. This is a very unsatisfying ending, and I actually do think that is kind of provocative, and I think that is intentional. You know, like, some movies end on a cliffhanger, but like, what if you had all of the cliffhangers? But it kind of makes sense when you're basically telling multiple movies worth of content with multiple stars of a show, here with like a cartoon series. And in fact, I want to talk about that, the stars of the show. I honestly think even side characters, even people in the background, even the architecture, but basically like everybody steals every scene. You know, some people talk about movies where it's like, oh man, Leonardo DiCaprio with this scene, he stole it. He did so good, he was amazing, and he just stole it. But what if everybody steals every scene? Now, maybe that could be a problem, and maybe some people do think it's a problem. In fact, it seems like the editors of the show had a little bit of a problem with some cuts, you know, ending a little quickly or moving from beat points a little too abruptly. Like, I think we can all agree that for certain ones, because this show is really freaking heavy. But in the end, overall, I still appreciated just like every single character, which I've already talked about. Voice acting, everything is great. And even people who feel like an uneasiness with their voice or like an over-designedness to some of their character designs, there's stuff that you could probably point at and, you know, still frame it and talk about how this one character is maybe not that great. But I honestly feel, and this sounds like an excuse, but I do think that anything that you feel is uneasy or awkward or, you know, a little sinister or twisted, you get those negative emotions in your heart. I really think that that is actually, especially these last 3 episodes, the point of Arcane. And not to rant too long with this review, but I'm just really surprised that the arcs throughout all these characters, I found myself, wow, rooting for villains. I found myself despising heroes. I found myself forgetting what a protagonist even was, because it really feels like everyone is an antagonist. And I actually do definitely relate to the concept of Antigone. But in the end, it does seem like this is mostly a story of Vi and Jinx, yet mostly told through the perspectives of everyone else. And I actually think that's a really interesting framing, because this is a story about people, about the birth of legends, and I'm sure that we're going to get different focuses throughout the different seasons of different pairings of characters, and already we can kind of see that melding and flowing differently depending on the episodes. But for the most part, it does seem like these two characters, Vi and Jinx, the world that they grew up in, but actually now that it's sort of blossoming into, okay, greater Piltover experiences, the greater Runeterra experience is going to spill over in Season 2, we're starting to see that, okay, how does these actions of individuals as a collective, how it affects, obviously, children, how it affects the people, the individuals of, different parts of the city, and maybe even the world. Now, as we saw with Jace and Victor making the Hex Tech, how that now is actually going to push to potentially, like, for a world war. It's sort of been teased of different nations maybe wanting to invade. Maybe what Zaun could do, how they could provoke, and maybe are they the underdogs? Like, really, what happened? What is the history with that? And if you know, you know. But that's something that I think a lot of people who are first-time viewers are going to be very excited to learn and to dive deeper into. But in the end, I really can't rant too much more about this. There is definitely this aching and hollow feeling that I have in my heart, the gulfing void of yearning for Season 2. That's not going to disappear anytime soon. But basically, all I can say is that this is a climax. It is an anti-climactic climax to a story that has been told here through 9 episodes, that really was just like a roller coaster that only went down. It only went down and then slowed and slowed and slowed until it just stopped. And now we have to wait, get off, and maybe get on another ride another time. But yeah, wow. I think people were expecting loops and corkscrews and, again, fireworks and stuff like that. And there definitely was color. There definitely was, like, this artistry, and the animation was really good, and I actually really dug the soundtrack. And you know what? The mixed media content was so good. Oh my god, I could do another video on just the mixed media, the literal art of the show. But in the end, we're talking about the story, we're talking about my raw reaction, my raw impressions, and honestly, I'm left speechless. Just like my bullet point, my script or whatever, completely fucking blank. That's how I feel, and I think that's the intention. And I know that's what you guys were expecting, and everyone knew that's what we were gonna get, apparently, because that's what all the comments said everywhere. But no. Wow, so that's why I'm saying this show isn't just good, it's probably not even just great. They're trying to be legacy. And if you think about it, it makes sense. This is a big story. No, it's big stories. This is the birth of legends, and the story needs to be told fittingly. And yeah, I think it fits. It's a sour one, but you know what? I like them spicy, so I'm game for it. Let's go. I can't wait for Season 2. Fuck. But at the same time, I need some recovery time. Holy shit. Anyways, guys, I got a full review actually coming, which will be much more eloquent, put together, and poetic with essay formatting and better editing. But if you guys want to support that, please look at the Patreon. Much love. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I love reading every single comment. The attention to these videos have been really great for me, and I've been having so much fun with this. And I want to do more. I want to dive more into this world, into Runeterra, play some more League of Legends, and have some fun. Have some fun. But oh my goodness. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna let you guys finish what I want to say, because I'm not gonna find the words for another 24 hours. Maybe even ever. Because I think the point of the ending, this semicolon punctuation of this series, of this season, it's meant to leave you speechless. But I'm sure you guys are going to try in the comments. Let me know. Much love, friends and family. Keep the hype alive. I'll see you again next time.